What's up, summoners? King Blair here. Today, we're going to be doing a showcase on Little Queen Charlotte since she currently is the Mystic Banner hero. Now, my current Little Queen Charlotte is not full build. As you see, she's still missing a couple of reforges and still has a level 75 ring. But hopefully we get to showcase her today in Arena, RTA, as well as Guild Wars. We have had some trouble with RTA. This is my 5th time taking this video, and every single time she got a pre-ban or post-ban because she is that scary of a unit. So, if you like the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and join the Discord server. Link down in the description. But as far as the build, she's a really good unit to stop your opponent from trying to pick darks and to punish your opponent's dark picks, which is one of the reasons a lot of people will end up banning her. Usually you do want her to be pretty bulky with as much attack as possible, since you do want her to be able to get a lot of dunk damage to actually punish the dark heroes. There are some other LQC's build that we have on the Discord with some of the people, and there's a lot of really much better avid LQC players than me there, and you can definitely ask some questions. But as you see, tanky with attack tends to be what people try to go for, although there are some people here and there that will go for a full attack one or will go for a pretty some spicy ones, right? So that's just a couple. That was run right there, and I think this is the one I showed. But again, for the most part, very similar builds, right? Tanky with a lot of attack, right? So with that, I also will have Purgus kind of setting up attack buff for her. You can also use DN and other units that may help you in that. But without further ado, let's get to the RTA, because let's just try to showcase her, right? Let's just get right into it. So we're going to be doing RTA, then we'll be doing Arena, and then we'll be doing some Guild Wars. So as far as some things to watch out for when you're using LQC, people tend to either bring strippers into her, or they tend to bring things that can stop her from hitting them, right? So things like Landy and Spectre Tenebria are really good into Little Queen Charlotte, because Little Queen Charlotte, although she can have splash damage, if they don't have any other dark units and they put Landy or Stenit, it makes it really hard for her, especially the fact that you can't counter, they can cycle you, and it just makes it very, very, very hard for you to actually get to a point where you can dunk and just process them, right? So those units, typically that's why we ban Landy. Because with Landy on the board, it just becomes really, really, really hard. Usually we do ban the Landy because we don't want to deal with it, which does mean we will have to deal with things like Spectre Tenebria, right? For the most part, everyone almost always picks Fallen Cecilia. So right here, I do expect a Fallen Cecilia first pick, because that's what everyone does nowadays, which makes it really nice that you can actually pick things like LQC, right? So first, we're going to start with General Purgus. Again, we need the attack buffer, and we also want to add a little bit more pressure and also take away a counter, because as we mentioned, strips can mess up Little Queen Charlotte and provokes as well. If you're not getting your dunk, you're not getting to do your job. So back in there curly, putting a lot of pressure, being able to take out units early in the fight. Little Queen Charlotte actually does have a decent matchup against a Tywin due to the fact that she sets up her own immunity. So most likely we will be picking the LQC here into this person. And we might be bringing something like a Ross to also pressure the Tywin pick a little bit. But for the most part, he looks like he's going to be going very, very bulky. We might even be picking Robbie as well, who also is a Mystic Banner hero, since the bulkier you get, the more likely that you'll need some other things to try to break through the mold. So he is going full chunky monkey. LQC does really good into these teams, so we will be picking LQC. I am tempted to bring something like a Spectre Tenebria to take away the pick from him, as well as to do some damage against this type of team. This does leave me open to things like Seaside Bellona right here, and things like Tempest Cern, which I do expect the opponent to try to counter with, or even things like Charlotte, right? Those are other things that can really pressure your squishier things. So we do see the Seaside, which was expected, and we see the Fairy Tail Tenebria, who is actually mostly there to pressure everything else, right? So here we have the option of either bulking down and stopping some of the support, adding a support and some knights, or we have the option to meet what he's doing and maybe pick something like a Rowana, which I think we will be picking the Rowana here. Yeah, I think we will be picking the Rowana. So this will hopefully force the ban onto the Rowana, and we will most likely ban this and then start focusing on different things, right? So that forces them to ban it. It's not the greatest team in the world. Again, as I mentioned, I'm still trying to get used to Little Queen Charlotte. He does get a lot of burst damage against me in this situation, and the fact that with my S3 from a Tywin, it does make it pretty hard that I will not be able to set up. But we do want to start working on that Seaside Bellona, right? She's the main target that we have to go for. So we did not land the decreased defense, which is going to be pretty tough, but the Roa was there anyway, so if she needed to, she could have easily set it up. He will most likely be saving his S3, mostly going here onto our Falconer Clury. It does end up cleansing, so we will be doing our S3, setting up our attack buff. We don't want to take a lot of damage here, so we are going to go straight for an S3 on the Seaside Bellona, because we do not want to take all the damage that Seaside Bellona is going to bring with that S3. So hopefully landing a stun here on the squishier Seaside Bellona as well. And then we do get to do the dunk with Little Queen Charlotte. We are going to soul burn here because I want to be able to get my immunity back up to stop the A-tie win. So we are going to be doing that. We will get a big dunk here since we do have attack buff. We have Hell Cutter stacks. Sadly, Seaside does get turn priority, which I do not know why that is, but it is the way that it is. Our Seaside should be able to get rid of that, so let's start pressuring this A-tie win. And our General Purgus will finish off the Seaside. And we do get a big dual attack right there. And yeah, that's the LQC dunk, right? We tore apart his team pretty easily. He most likely does revive. He will get a lot here, especially if he revives the LQC, which most likely that's what he revives the SSB. So this will be a little bit dangerous on our part, and the A-tie win will get to rip an S3 here. So he does bring back the Seaside, and it is full stacks, which doesn't make sense because we killed her when she only had 1 stack left. So that is very strange. He should not have full stacks right here, which is something that's a little bit weird. Because he should not have full stacks. We killed the Seaside when she was at 2 stacks. The Seaside most likely will be sweeping most of our team. Hopefully we could land a provoke here. We do, so we take away a lot of AoE damage there with the General Purgus. Another one of the reasons why General Purgus is such a good unit. And we'll also get to see our LQC without attack buff doing pretty good damage here, right? So we have 6 stacks, so that gives us 24% crit, which gives us 100%. And you can see, even though SSB is not light, we are still able to just destroy the SSB. So pretty successful showcase there, right? So pretty nice. I mean, this person was a previous legend, and we got to beat him because LQC dunk is way too much damage, right? So that was nice. That was a good showcase. That really, really showed the power of LQC in RTA. Again, General Purgus setting up the attack buff is amazing. That dual attack was also very luck-sacky, but it is what it is, right? So very nice, right? Very, very good match right there. Let's move over to things like Guild Wars. But you guys got to saw how much damage and how much pressure an LQC can put, especially with an attack buff. We kind of forced the ban on the Rowana since he wanted to keep the Seaside, and we got to pick our LQC. So for this one, it looks like our guild's doing really good. We're in the top. Yeah, we're almost like top 100 right now. So it's interesting that we're kind of destroying them pretty harshly. So let's actually take it somewhere that I think she can show off some of the stuff she can do. Both of this actually works. So let's do this one because I think I can beat the first team decently fast. For the bottom one, we are going to do something a little bit spicier that I normally don't do. But we will put Bazaar, LQC, and we'll put General Purgus in the bottom one. Yeah, so there we go. We'll put Bazaar, LQC, and General Purgus. The Bazaar to strip the barriers, and the LQC to dunk him to set up attack buff. Pretty standard, so I can see the damage that it does on Tempest Surin. So that hopefully will be a good showcase for that. For this top team, we are going to be... I'd rather go a little bit... Man, the only thing that sucks is I really wanted to do something fun. We'll use Senya, but I'm trying to decide who I want my second unit to be. We could probably use Kayron. Although Kayron may not be the best in this situation, he'll do okay. Right? He'll eat a couple horses. Hopefully this team works. Kind of boosting. But I want to get to the fight as soon as possible so I get to see LQC in action, right? So hopefully it's pretty nice. I'm happy with that RTA fight, man. I've been trying all day to get that LQC to actually fight. But you guys saw it, like it made sense, like a lot of the bans we made. Some of the reasons why we made certain bans, like the Landy, right? You guys saw how hard it would have been without it. So stuff. But LQC and G-Perk, best friends, man. They're probably like hand-in-hand best friends. They just do so much dumb stuff together. So we do get the El Restore counter. I think Kayron also got a counter. And we do proc Dust Devil, so we'll get a lot of damage here. We'll proc this the first time. And he should be going on to our Kayron because our Kayron took the most damage. So this Stennis should be going into our Kayron initially. But we should be fine. Yeah, there he goes on the Kayron. Our Kayron still has immunity though, so we're chilling. We will get an Elris sword. Nice. Although she has immunity. They don't have any more forms of stun, so let's just pop the S3 just to get the attack buff, and then maybe they can kill themselves on my Kayron and my Senya. Kind of like a cool counter team. It's a fun little team I cooked up just now for the video. So hopefully we get some counters or some Elris swords. That'd be really cool. But I understand if we don't. Alright. And hopefully... Okay, so he hits the Kayron. She should be hitting Kayron. So I haven't procced the barrier, which is really nice. And I'm pretty sure Kayron just sweeps here. So let's start poking down her. And let's just finish out the job with Kayron. There we go. Nice and easy, right? Nice and basic. Just put AoE and stop the F10 with Fallen Cecilia. Pretty standard stuff. Alright, for this one, we are going to be soul burning. We do want to get rid of all those buffs. Stop a lot of the damage coming our way. So we push them back. We poke with General Purgus. We do a little bit of poke damage. We do stun, but she's gonna free up, yeah. And now let's see that dunk damage. So it's a 6k HP. So what's really cool about LQC, and that you guys will get to see here, her damage is not reliant on T-Cern's passive. Does not stop anything. So that's why she took the full 7,000. She took a nice little 7,000 splash damage, all because of the LQC. It is raw damage. It will not check things like Tempest Siren. So that's it. Nice and quick, right? Look at that. Easy cleave. That meta Guild Wars defense deleted, right? Easily. There was not even a single concern at this point, right? So you guys get the point. LQC dunk on Dark with attack buff, really strong. Does like 7k AoE, and we're still missing some stats, right? So we could easily get that to go up to like 8 to almost 9k splash damage, right? Which is really, really cool. And then you essentially, Arena is going to be very similar. So let's see if we can find a defense where I can showcase. So this one's a pretty standard one. Sadly, I don't have like a Last Rider Crawl. Typically, you bring Last Rider Crawl to these, and then you do the dunk, but we do not have access to a Last Rider Crawl. So we are going to be doing a home-cooked one. We're going to be doing a home-cooked LQC one. It may not work as well, but usually for Arena, the best one is actually going to be LQC, General Purgus, Last Rider Crawl, and then putting a flex pick. But since we don't have that, we are going to be doing something a little bit different. And by a little bit, I mean a lot different. Where we're going to be doing something like this. And hopefully the 8 Tywin damage is enough to set up for a kill with the LQC. That's the goal, right? At least. So hopefully it works out. But ideally, this will be a Last Rider Crawl instead of a General Purgus. Oh, no, the General Purgus would be there normally, but instead of an A Tywin, we would actually be seeing a Last Rider Crawl in that slot, and we could see another AoE damage dealer instead of Basar, right? So there's variety in there. I just don't have the variety. So this person does not have a Lela Violin one. By the way, if you're using Polides for your defense, make sure she's on Lela Violin. If you don't have your Polides on Lela Violin on Arena defense, you're kind of boosting. You're gonna be boosting a lot, because without Lela Violin, you guys saw. I mean, it takes up a lot of the pressure off, right? So we get really good poke damage. We stun everything, and then we get to dunk and pretty much kill this T-Cern, right? So nice and easy cleave, right? One of the most meta Arena defenses. Pretty quick, right? We're done. I could honestly put it in auto at this point. Yep, there it is. 8,000 damage. You do the AoE, you set that up, and then you just finish it off, right? And then I can auto from this point on. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. She's a really good unit, and I'll put my final thoughts in a second. But I mean, she's such a good unit. I would highly encourage you guys to consider pulling for LQC. She does so much work against Dark. And look at that. That's not even fully Morgord, right? That S3 is not even close to being fully Morgord. So, again, General Purga is kind of an MVP with her because of the attack buff. And because he does poke damage, can set up really nicely into a lot of other stuff. So, yeah, there we go. Nice and easy cleave. One of the meta defenses up in Champion. Eating it up. But, yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. Let me do a quick summary on LQC and my thoughts on her, particularly because she's still a Mystic Rotation banner hero. So she's with Robbie right now, and Robbie's another amazing PvP unit, as well as PvE, right? She actually is really good in a lot of PvE scenarios. But LQC and Robbie are out right now. I think they're amazing. I think they're really, really strong. I would highly encourage you to think about getting LQC. She is hard to build. As you guys saw, I have really good gear on her. I'll show you guys the LQC build again in case you're curious. I have really strong gear on her. And she does really well because of the gear that I gave her. She's able to survive, take hits, and still do a lot of damage herself. I mean, we don't even have her fully Mora Gored yet. We're still missing a lot on the S2 for damage mitigation. We're still missing a lot on the S1 for the damage. We do have the S3, of course, since that's a big dunk. And we were missing a lot of splash damage from these two pieces, right? We're missing a whole bunch of attack here. We're missing that extra 5% we normally would be getting here. And we're also missing all this extra attack that we could get here instead of this flat health that it low rolled into, right? So we can make LQC way stronger, way scarier, and just dumpster teams that have dark units, right? So again, LQC, highly, highly recommend you pull for her. She does lose to a lot of things that can strip and things that ramp up faster than her, right? So things like Landy ramp up way faster than her. Things like Estene ramp up way too fast for her. Things like Carrot to an extent, because she's able to strip and apply the burns, makes it really hard for LQC. Things like Cerise that stop her from getting turns with the S2 since you get the restrict. So there's a lot of things that can counter LQC. So she's not an end all be all, but she's a very powerful unit, and I highly suggest you consider pulling for her. But that is all I got for you guys today. Hopefully this gives you a good idea of a showcase. I will be using her more on streams in the future, although probably not for the next week. But yeah, she's a really cool unit, and I highly recommend it. That's all I got for you guys today, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.